This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the 2016 LD Micro Invitational in Bel Air, California. I have with me Roger Dumoulin-White of Theralase. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you two symbols. It's TLT.V in Canada and TLTFF in the US. Welcome back to SNNLive.
Shelley, it's a pleasure to be here.
I want to start with an overview, if you would, of Theralase.
Sure. Theralase is a medical laser company. We have two different divisions. We have a therapeutic laser division where we manufacture medical lasers to heal tissue, nerves, joints, muscles. We also have an anti-cancer division where we in-license photodynamic compounds that have an affinity for cancer cells and are able to destroy those cancer cells when light activated.
What do your products replace in the market in each category?
Well, if you're looking at the U.S. pain market, it's about $100 billion a year and growing rapidly. The 50% of that population are still in significant pain, same pain or worse pain after surgery or after pharmaceutical drugs. We all know about the issues with failed surgeries, failed low back, failed chronic knee, failed carpal tunnel, and the problems with opiates. There's a lot of issues with kidney and liver toxicity, a lot of GI issues, and look at the addiction. It's a very, very big problem.
And on the cancer side?
On the cancer side, you're trying to fix, what I liken it, is you're trying to fix a watch with a sledgehammer. So if someone has cancer, God forbid, you're either using surgery, where you try to cut it out, you're using chemotherapy, where you're using very powerful, deadly cytotoxic drugs to destroy it, or you're using radiation. Our technology targets only the cancer cells, so it's like an airstrike missile. It leaves all the healthy tissue intact, and it prevents the recurrence of it. One treatment, and what we've seen is fairly substantial results.
So you have a device that kind of competes with, let's say, targeted injection of monoclonal, some kind of antibodies or a drug, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to get into this a little bit.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, if you're looking at pharmaceutical approach, you're really looking at an oral drug or an injectable drug, which is going to minimize the effects and hopefully relinquish the disease. What we're looking at here is to go in and destroy the disease. A lot of the surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, they affect the quality of life, and they also dramatically diminish the strength of the immune system. What we've seen with our technology, although it hasn't been proven clinically yet, is that we've been able to keep the quality of life, and we've also been able to strengthen the immune system, and that is hence causing the immune-mediated effect or the preventing the recurrence of the disease.
But it's non-invasive, correct?
It's non-invasive. It's minimally invasive. If you're looking at bladder cancer, you insert a catheter through the urethra into the bladder. So I would consider that minimally invasive.
Question that most people would ask is this actually a replacement therapy, or is it in conjunction with other forms of treatment? Someday it may be standalone. It may not be there yet. What's your comment on that?
Well, I don't think that you can go into a world where you have cancer and suddenly replace everything that's there. There's standard of care. Standard of care is surgery, chemo, radiation. Our initial population for non-muscle invasive bladder cancer are for patients that have failed standard of care. So they've failed what's called a TURB procedure, transurethral resection of the bladder tumor. They've failed Bacillus Calmette-Guerin or BCG therapy. They're recurred and they're looking at what's called a radical cystectomy. They're going to have their bladder removed. That's our initial population. Once we've demonstrated results on that population, then we may be able to go more to a standalone or a frontline therapy. But in the beginning, no.
Now, on the pain side, I have with you, I have to jump back and forth.
Sure, of course.
So on the pain side, talk to me about, is it topical? Is it also non-invasive?
Well, when you're dealing with pain and the $100 billion pain market in the U.S., the standards of care are either surgery or pharmaceutical drugs. So with this type of technology, it is a topical in the sense that you put it on tissue, it can penetrate percutaneously through tissue. It has, from what we've seen, a 90% effective rate for dramatically reducing pain, but it doesn't have any of the side effects of the surgery. You're not cutting through healthy tissue to get to the damaged tissue. Also, it doesn't have any of the side effects, any of the GI, liver, kidney effects that some of these pharmaceutical approaches have. So it's a beautiful aspect in order to treat pain, but it's virtually unknown in the U.S. So that's what one of the reasons we're here is to introduce this technology so people become more aware of their options. It doesn't preclude them from doing surgery, it doesn't preclude them from pharmaceutical drugs, but it's something that can be used to offset those or to minimize the use of those techniques.
Are there any side effects?
From what we've seen, no. You can obviously, with any type of laser energy, if you put too much of anything, it's a bad thing. So if you put so much energy, you may cause some thermal response. But from what we've seen, there's what's called a maximum permissible exposure, an MPE to tissue. We're 5 times below that level. So if I held that laser on your arm, it's not going to do anything which will harm you.
Are you in the market yet? What are some of the timing issues?
Well, we just got approval on our 4th generation TLC 2000 technology. This has cell sensing technology. So we've got patented algorithms that you can actually sense where the damaged tissue is and actually deliver a set dose of energy in a closed loop system. Just got a FDA clearance in December. We just got Health Canada approval in December. So we've just built our Canadian team, we've built our US team, we're just starting to gain traction.
That's a tipping point for the company, isn't it?
It looks like a pretty big inflection point.
So now, U.S. Let's talk about U.S. A lot of our investor audience is in the U.S. When do you think we'll see it here?
The product is in the U.S. now. The U.S. sales team has just been hired. So we're covering 30% of the population and 30% of the wealth is held in 5 states: New York, Florida, Illinois, Texas, and California. No big surprise, that's where the big cities are. So we've just hired our territory sales managers in New York, Florida, Illinois, and California. We're just about to hire Texas, and we're going to start to roll it out.
We're almost halfway through 2016. We're heading to 2017. Give me a few milestones that you can tell me about that you'd be happy achieving.
Well, in our therapeutic division, we're fully approved, so FDA cleared, Health Canada approved. So now what you're really going to see is a rollout of that sales and marketing team and attraction of sales into the U.S. market. On the cancer side, or the anti-cancer side of things, very exciting. The drug is approved. Our lead drug, TLD 1433, is approved in Canada. We have the institution approved, the University Health Network. We're just waiting on final approval of the laser system, which we should have by the end of June. And then we're going to start enrolling for our phase 1B clinical trial for non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, July 1st. 3 patients will be done by the end of September. We'll report out on that. We enroll another 6, follow them for 6 months. We'll be done this time, 2017. And then we'll start a phase 2 clinical trial. We're looking at 25 sites, 8 in Canada, 12 in the US, 5 in Europe. Out of those 25 sites, 150 patients. We're making it a pivotal phase 2. We're looking to be commercial on this technology, believe it or not, end of 2018.
Where's this technology from?
The original technology, I'm not the inventor of the technology. The therapeutic laser technology came from Brussels, so it's originally from Belgium. The anti-cancer technology, we have 3 different platforms. I purchased or negotiated the worldwide exclusive license for the first platform out of Virginia Tech, which is out of Blacksburg, Virginia. The second and third platform came from Acadia University out of Nova Scotia, Canada. Both photodynamic compounds were developed by female chemistry professors, both brilliant women that designed these anti-cancer drugs.
That's fantastic. Let's get your website out there for more information.
Sure. Our website's www.theralase.com. That's THERALASE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Dumoulin-White, Theralase. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you 2 symbols, TLT on the TSX Venture and TLTFF in the U.S. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the 2016 LD Micro Invitational in Bel Air, California. Thanks, Roger, for coming on.
Thanks, Shelley. Always a pleasure.